What's up, y'all? HTG Brian back with the July 2022 Game Break. What is up, y'all? I got the old tropical sun stuff going on here, and it's hot, and it's very suiting as today it's going to be about 99 degrees here in Salem. We're actually heading over to Redmond, Oregon, which is going to be a cool 104 degrees today. So, yeah, we're asking for it for sure. But what's up, everybody? As this is a game break, we won't go ahead and go through the chat like we normally do and say hi, but just know that you have been recognized. Much love to all of you, especially the early notification squad. And be nice today. Play fairly, because Raised has been instructed to be extra swingy with the hammer. But good to see you guys. Hopefully everyone has had a good weekend so far. Myself, I've had a very interesting one. As you guys know, I didn't end up streaming on Friday, and it was due to some real life that had kicked in. And ultimately, I'm sad to report that Thursday night, my wife and I went to bed just like we normally do. And, you know, she falls asleep usually half an hour to an hour before I do. And that was the same on Thursday. And I fell asleep. I don't know how long I was out, maybe a half an hour. And she woke me up in a panic screaming, "Brian, something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong." And something was definitely wrong. And, you know, my wife is as tough as they come. And I'm not saying that because she can hear me. I'm saying that because it's true. And to see her in that much pain, I mean, I have not seen her squirrel and scream and holler since she was like giving birth to Reese. So that's like the only other time I've seen that. And we've been through a lot of stuff, a lot of pain, broken foots, broken stuff, like a lot of stuff. And I've never seen her like this. And so at first she was describing the pain to me as a muscle pain in her lower back area. As it turns out, we got ice pack, we got heat pack. I have one of those impact guns, the massage guns. We got that going and was hitting her with that. Nothing. I mean, she was screaming bloody murder. So I ended up going and grabbing my mother-in-law. I just told her, I don't know what to do. Like, we're trying to work through this. It's been roughly 15, 20 minutes. Nothing is giving her any relief. I think we should go to the emergency room. She says she doesn't want to go to the emergency room. And she said, no, we need to take her. And so we told her that. And she was like, nope, I'm not going. And so she was like, I'm not going to go sit there and get with a bunch of sick people and blah, blah, blah. Like, you know how it is at the emergency room. Nobody wants to go there. And so in the end, we got to the emergency room. They did some tests. It took about an hour and a half to get us into a physical room with a bed. We were in a room, kind of an examination room. We had access to a bathroom, thank God. She was vomiting profusely, like full body, nothing left for an hour and a half, just vomiting and screaming, you know, help me, give me some pain meds or something. She was in such agony. It was crazy. We finally got a room, got her in the back, and the doctor came in almost immediately and said, it sounds like you have a kidney stone. And so at that point, he sort of said, look, we need to do a couple more tests. We need some blood. We need a CT scan, and then we'll know. And so they did all that stuff. About another hour and a half went by. At this point, it's like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. And they come back and they say the CT scan does in fact show a kidney stone. It's roughly 3 millimeters in size, which is the good size. Anything above 6 millimeters often requires help with like a stent or possibly even surgery. So he said, the good news is you're going to pass this on your own. The bad news is we have no idea how long it's going to take, and we can only do so much to accommodate. Now, I am 44, almost 45 years old. I've never had kidney stones, never had gallstones, never had anything like that, never had surgery, never even had an IV, never even had to have an IV. I've never broke a bone. I've never stayed the night in a hospital. So needles, IVs, blood work, all that stuff terrifies me. And like, I've actually, when I was about 14 years old, I had some blood work done and the lady spilled. And so I had a bloody mess. And it traumatized me, like seriously. Like you guys know, I was seeing a therapist not long ago for my anxiety, and we talked about blood and why I'm so paranoid and freaked out by this stuff. And turns out, like, we followed it all the way back, and it has to do largely with that moment, right? So, and then the lack of experience since then. So, I mean, I've only had my blood drawn probably one time in the last 20 years because I'm freaking terrified. So, anyways, she had to have an IV and all this stuff, and it was it was crazy, but you know how that gets when you're somebody helping somebody you care about, like everything else becomes non-essential, right? Like I was really nauseous and sick and having some troubles with whatever food that I had had that night. But I just fought through it. I mean, I just had to be there for my girl, and so at around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, they actually discharged us. They gave us some prescription pills and juiced her up with some meds to make her feel better for a couple hours. We came home and she immediately crawled into bed and went to sleep with the pain meds and where she was at with the traveling. So, when it leaves your kidney, it has to go through a pathway to your bladder, and that's when it hurts. When it gets into your bladder, usually there's maybe some annoyance or awareness that it's there, but I'm told that you don't have pain. The pain is when it's traveling from the kidney to the bladder. And so when we had the CT scan, he told us, he said, you're at least 70%. So you're at least over the halfway point and nearing the home stretch, but you're not there yet. But we don't know how. So by the time we got home, she kind of looked at me and she's like, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm wondering if maybe it made it into my bladder. And so, like I said, she went to bed. It was about 7 o'clock. Well, we needed to get her medication. Her mother has a broken foot and cannot drive. And Reese had been with us all night too. So they were up, both Muffy and Reese were with us until about 4:30. And then I sent them home and they got maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours of sleep before we called them and said, hey, we need a ride to get picked up. Because Reese drove us down there. I was like asleep and trying to help, Jillian, and I was holding her in the back seat. And so Reese drove us down there and then drove home. And he did a great job on all that. But it was just a really scary night, you guys. I mean, like, my wife was in the ER screaming, just kill me. Give me some medicine or just kill me. And I'm like looking at her going, baby, you can't say it. And she was legit screaming this, like at the top of her lungs. And everybody was looking at her. And of course, she didn't want that. She was like, stop looking at me. But I mean, so what a crazy experience. Like, crazy. She's doing so much better now. She's actually downstairs packing and we're getting ready to go on our trip, which we were kind of up in the air. Like, oh, are we going to go? Are we not going to go? And we've decided to go ahead and give it a go. But that's ultimately why I didn't stream on Friday. I just needed some catch up time. Now, fun fact for you guys too. I went and got her medication. The pharmacy didn't open till 8. So we got home at 7. I got her to bed by 7. I had an hour to kill before the pharmacy opened. Went to the pharmacy, got her pills, got home about 9. And as you guys know, I'll tell more of this story in a minute, but I ordered a drone. And jumping to the end of that right now, I literally had to sign for the drone, knowing that I was going on vacation and if I missed it, there was a possibility I might not be able to bring it with me on vacation. So I didn't want to miss that drone. So I had to stay up. Even after all night being up, I mean, I think I slept for 30 minutes or whatever before we left. And then between the time I got home from the pharmacy and the time that the drone showed up at 2:30 in the afternoon, I think I got like maybe an hour and a half of sort of like intermittent sleep. I was letting Drexler out. It's really cold in our house. He needs to go outside and warm up because it's so hot outside, but he can only stay out there for like 5-10 minutes before he needs to come back in. And we can't leave the door open. We have what we call open door policy in summertime. When it's not too hot out, we leave the door open so he can come and go as he pleases. But when it's too dang hot, we got that door closed. And so he wasn't thrilled about that. So he kept waking me up. The cat was waking me up. Everybody was a little out of whack because nobody had slept. The dog had never been home by himself at night like that before. Not that he's not been alone at home before, but never during the night, right? Like when he's sleeping, like seeing his mom wake up, screaming, like, and then her leaving and then just being empty house. Like he was probably like, what in the hell, So, but we're all good. We're feeling much better. We're pretty much caught up on sleep. Jillian still got, her body is still sort of in shock with all of the vomiting and all of the sweating and stuff that happened. Her muscles are still cramped. She's very dehydrated, suffering from headaches. Still has some internal pain and stuff too. But she had been having some kind of stomach type issues for a couple of days leading up to this. And you know, she even went to the doctor. I think I told you guys she went to the doctor and had ultrasounds and she had her annual exam, like, and all these things. Like, she was super worried about it, and everything came back great. So we were like, okay, what's causing these pains and stuff? We think this was it. And we hope it is. And it turns out my dad has had kidney stones before too. And he actually felt really sick. He was having stomach cramps and major pains, kind of what my wife was describing having. And he went to the doctor for that. And when they did a scan on him, they go, oh, you got a kidney stone. He hadn't even made it to the part that hurt yet. So he was like, wait, you're telling me in the next couple of days, I'm going to start passing the stone and it's going to hurt? Like, so he got like a heads up and then had to wait for the pain. And then his took 6 days. 6 days. Oh my God. I can't imagine what that would be like for 6 days. You know, there's times that my dad has really pissed me off and I've wished some evil things on him, but no, like after watching what my wife went, no, that is, oh my gosh. So anyways, so that's been sort of where I've been. I'm still a little bit, you know, like I said, we're almost caught up on sleep and stuff, but not quite yet. We're still a little bit out of whack. But all in all, you know, happy to be here. Relieved that my wife is okay. I mean, she was literally like, I'm dying, Brian. Something's wrong. I'm dying. And she's like looking me right in the eyes, telling me, and scared, right? Like, I'm dying. Oh, it's so hard, you guys. Oh my God, it's so hard. And so for her to be okay, whew, such a relief. Such a relief. All right. So crazy story aside, welcome back. Good to see you guys. Like I said, I'm just happy to be here. Happy my wife is here with me too. Like, you guys have no idea how important, like, like I would be gone for a long time if something happens to her. So yes, definitely happy. As far as the month goes, pretty productive. I've talked a little bit about this in the last few days. Views and watch time are both up significantly. In fact, we had like 7,000 or 8,000 more watch time hours. That's quite a bit. And view-wise, we had over 110,000 more views this month than we did last month. You'd think that would be really good. And it is. Analytically, I'm proud of it. I'm happy to have it. You know, people always say, oh, you should have 1 billion views a month. Well, we appreciate that, but we like to live right around 1 million. And so we're pretty content with 963,000, right? But the problem is it's that time of the year where advertising is like not there. And it's tougher for me in these months financially because it's a mental thing. It's not even like I'm struggling, like, give me your money, I need, that's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that in these months, I find myself working harder, working longer, uploading maybe even more than some of the later months, like November, December, January. Those months, I can literally like go on autopilot and do like half the work and upload like 10 times a month, and I will literally make double the amount that I will in June, July. You know, it's just it's the amount of money that goes into advertising and how that works for my CPM or my sort of my hourly rates, if you will. It's all analytics and number based. So how many views and how many ads and how long the ads displace. And there's so many factors, right? But like June, July are the worst. And then August, back to school starts. So like, you know, snack companies and clothing companies and shoe companies and all these places to sell all those different things, they all start advertising like crazy and everything changes. So we sort of survived the summer drought, if you will. And I think we've hit rock bottom, which is good. And I think we're going to start climbing back up the mountain. So what that means is that I will certainly be kicking more butt and taking more names as the rest of the year goes on. Because as you guys know, I'm not one to really hit the pause button if I don't have to. I like being around you guys. I like producing work. I know that the more I do often, the more it rewards me. It's not always the case, as I just stated, but for the most part it is. So I try to keep that consistent flow. And I know you guys that support us and that love the content, like you guys sort of need to be fed this stuff. And so I want to continue with new stuff. Now we got over 3,000 videos, so there's lots of content to watch, but you go back a handful of years and it's different. For one, I sound very youthful. My voice is a little different, and you know, my my wording comes out different. I was a little bit looser lipped in the beginning, right? And then I sort of tightened it up, as puckered up, if you will, as we got a little deeper. Ultimately, you know, everybody's got their preference. Some people are still bitching that I've changed the intro. That was like 4 years ago. I changed the intro to our videos. Why did you change it? I like that one. And I asked him, if you could tell me what it is, I'll bring it back. If you could tell me what's on that screen visually, I'll bring it back. But if you can't, if you don't know what it is, then I'm not bringing it back. And nobody's been able to label it because nobody knows. And it was something that we created. And when I say we, it was really Jeremy that did it. But, you know, once Jeremy wasn't part of the everyday routine, and once, you know, I sort of took over, right? It seemed right that his voice and his concept and his work wasn't at the beginning of everything. I just felt like it was taunting, right? I felt like that was kind of a taunt, like you're not here anymore and it's your intro and your voice, and you know what I mean? So I wanted to make it more me. So we just switched it once, and then we switched it again to the glitch, which I actually really like, but it is sort of getting a little bit dated. And at some point in the next couple of years, I'll probably change the intro again. But for now, it is what it is. And yeah. So yeah. You guys can see we hit 175,000 subs this month too. Sadly, there's no like milestone or plaque or anything crazy for you know, getting that. But at the same time, it's very monumental to me. You know, and watch time and views. I think that's the order. Watch time, views, subscribers is kind of the importance tree as far as the analytics and building more, right? As far as getting thrown into the algorithm. You know, we get roughly 2,000 subs every month, and our overall watch time, you'd think every month it would go up a little bit more because we're gaining 2,000 people. There are 2,000 more people are watching every month, and it should go up, but it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't work that way. So watch time and views followed by subs are kind of the order. So if you are starting a YouTube channel or been working on a YouTube channel, make sure you focus on your watch time first. And if you're doing videos and uploads, it's harder to maintain that than live streams. You know, because I upload all these Lego Star Wars videos that people, they need them, right? But most of the people that are familiar with our work, they use the quick links when they're trying to find, okay, I got 6 of this and I need 4 more mini kits. So they just go through the mini kit quick links. They're not always watching the video. So the watch time is sort of minimal. And it would benefit me if I removed all quick links, because people would have to watch longer to find the content they need. But that's never been a real priority. It's always been about helping. And I still feel like that's the way. Like I said, you know, money is a factor that allows me to keep doing this at the rate I'm doing it. If I wasn't being paid, then I wouldn't be able to continue this frequency. Like I'd still be uploading and doing this. It just wouldn't be at this frequency. So anyways, I see some people showing up. What up there, Chacho? What up, Cradle Kid? What up? Let's see here. Anybody else not here before we started? I think everybody else was here. If I missed you, my bad. Drop a comment. I'll say hello. All right, so analytics and welcome out of the way. I don't think we've seen Ben today. My Twitter button hasn't been here to harass me about it, and I almost forgot. But luckily, I'm seeing the button now. I'm gonna go ahead and press it, and fingers crossed that it's good to go. All right, I'm gonna kick it into gear here and start talking a little bit faster. I've got a couple of pictures, a couple of a short, like really short videos. Some of you have already seen parts of it. Going to talk stream schedules, and then we'll finish up with sort of my bon voyage speech with Patreon as well. Gears of War is my life. What is up? Welcome to the stream. All right, so next up we've got. So my wife and I have been trying to be more outdoorsy. It's been really hot the last like 10 days or so with this heat wave, but you know, once it subsides, we'll probably be out in it more. We bought some kayaks, and I think you guys saw that we actually did a live stream from the kayak, just sort of randomly on one of our days off, and this was it. Since this moment, I have picked up a new drone. I have got some GoPro mounts that actually mount to the front of the kayak. At some point in the video, you'll probably see like a little spot in the front that we can hook it onto. In fact, it's right outside the camera view. The black tip, giggity, is right. There's a little screw right there. And I got what I needed. And I've got these like super nice 360-degree holders. So really, I can look back at me, I can look forward, I can look off to the sides or whatever. The problem with those things is that they don't, my GoPros, I have the 8. they're like 11 now, I think. They're a little bit out of date as far as tech goes. So I don't think I can live stream from the GoPro. So that's kind of a bummer. Same with my drone. I haven't flown the drone yet. And the controller I got the smart controller. It is smart. It is beautiful. Like, I can't wait to like play around with it and get to know it better, which I plan on doing while we're on vacation. But so I'm thinking that there might be some more sort of adventure videos, and I'm still trying to decide whether or not those should be applied to our Happy Thumbs channel and maybe like make like a playlist that's like, you know, husband, wifey, adventure, you know, come up with something, right? Make that playlist of when we're doing stuff and do some more live streams where we're just random, you know, out and about. And we might, who knows? We might do none of it. We might move it over to my Inadub channel too. Some of you guys know that I have a personal channel. I used to upload, you know, once or twice a month or whatever, nothing big. Sometimes I go in bursts. My wife went on a trip to Arizona. She had to do some teaching down there for part of her degree. She had to be placed and do a bunch of training, like apprentice kind of a thing. And she was down there for like, I don't remember, 3 or 4 months or something. So we were vlogging like every day. Reese and I were taking videos and sending it to, you know, just to stay connected. So there's a lot of that. When we went to Disneyland, and I actually have a bunch of footage from Hawaii. I've talked about it a bunch. I've never put it together and edited. I've got my editing suite on my laptop. I might be able to, I just, who knows? I don't really want to work while I'm gone, but I might. But yeah, so we're talking about maybe doing some of this. If you guys would like to see more videos like this, yes, HTG actually does go outside. You wouldn't know it based on my iridescent glow in the dark skin, but it's actually fairly tan for me. My wife was even complimenting, like, you know, you're pretty good. You know, looking pretty tan right now. It's like, just wait, we're just about ready to go on vacation. Oh, I wish I could show you guys. My wife and I have matching swimwear. I have a t-shirt, right, that matches my shorts, that matches her bathing suit. So we embarrass the hell out of Reese and his friends when we go to the pool with them. The only problem is, last couple of years we've had Drex. We don't want to leave him by himself in the condo. So yeah, so Drex is our service dog. He gets to go with us, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so we're twinsies. And at one point, we even bought Reese a matching one too, but he would never wear it. But yeah, so this was our actual live. We'll probably be doing more stuff like this. I'm going to go ahead and shut this video down. If you guys want to see the full thing, there is a video from a couple days ago that will, you know, you can hear it, see it, and everything. Reese was actually the first person to comment, and he was like, "Put your phone down, enjoy nature," which was hilarious because we were giving him a bad time. We wanted him to come with us, but he didn't want to. He wanted to play his video game. So it was like he was reversing, even though he was at home. Like, it was just funny. This was another video I took just of us out there. I mean, look how peaceful it is. And there, right there, you can see there's where the GoPro mount is, right at the tip of the boat. But yeah, those new kayaks are super awesome. We love them. We're taking them with us. We're gonna probably drop them into the Deschutes. My mom actually lives literally right on the river. So, well, it's like 30 yards, but yeah, I mean, it's right there. There's a park between her and her house and the water. And so you literally walk out her front driveway and then go down. I'll definitely have some pictures to show you guys, at least when we get back, if not posting along the way. But yeah, so that's going to be fun. Now, I did want to talk about a couple of things. So every month, almost every month, I get a new Lego set. This month, it was something that I was behind on. In fact, Kirsten already got it and built hers. I think she built it. I feel like Raised may have got one of these too, but I'm not sure on this one. I know she got the tall neck. I don't know if she got the orchid, but I finally got this for my wife. My wife is getting a pretty extensive collection of the flower stuff. Sorry for the washed out picture too. I took it during the day when the sun was coming through the front and there was really no way to get it. But you can also see the tablecloth down at the bottom there. That's what that it's. That's our tablecloth, which you'll see again here in another photo I'm about to post, but it's pretty sweet. She's happy for it. We don't have it built yet. In fact, she's getting quite the backlog here. As you can see, she's got the orchid in the front. We are planning on taking our succulent set. So this is kind of breaking news right now. We're taking the succulent set with us. And our goal is one of the nights when the kids are down at the pool. I say kids, it's Roderick and Reese. They're adults now. But when they go down to the pool or go off to do whatever they do, We were talking about maybe setting up my laptop, and I've got a camera packed up, and I've got my old HyperX mic. I'm hoping to plug those in and maybe do a live, just kind of chill stream, kind of like what we're doing right now, right? Like a game break, but instead I'd have it set up with the camera facing the table where wifey and I are sitting there, maybe having a cocktail, building Lego. And I feel like I've talked about doing Optimus Prime a lot. That is a big set. I'm old. I got arthritis in my hands. I can build for about 2.5 hours usually before I start getting fidgety and my hands start to hurt from trying to be precise. I don't know if I could make, and I don't really want to break that into 2 streams. So I don't know if I'll end up building that or not. If Reese and I have a day and he wants to help, maybe. And there's some, I got more breaking news in a minute. But yeah, so ultimately, we're probably going to build that succulent scent live while we're gone one of the days, as long as I can get decent internet and it'll work. And we might try it and it might fail. So, but be looking for that between now and next Sunday. All right, Lego Star Wars. So I have not touched it in 10 plus days, but that doesn't mean you're not getting content. I've actually been, I was really busy towards the beginning of this month. I worked really long days. And I was getting up early and cutting audio at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning so that I could then edit the next video and get it ready for that night and then scout out. And I was doing a lot of stuff. My wife and I were sort of watching summer disappear right before my eyes. So I got ahead of myself and I got videos so that I would have preload stuff for when I was gone, so that although I'm not going to be able to live stream on my regular schedule, I should have some videos for you guys to keep you guys fed and not keep you hungry. So be looking for Lego Star Wars stuff in the next couple of days. That being said, stream schedule is wiped clean for this week. This is just this week. So from now till Sunday, basically, right? So Monday through Sunday, you won't have anything. My goal is to stream on Monday when I get back, but there is a possibility, and I do have an extra video just in case that would be there in its place. But once I return, we're going to go back to this schedule here, which should be power washing on Monday, and then when strays, at least for another week. I've got cleanup, and I'm going to actually put some minutes into getting that one squirrely trophy while we're over at Eagle Crest. And then Far Cry Fridays will return. And basically Far Cry Fridays will be there as long as I don't have a team for Apex. Nam is out of country for a couple of weeks. By the time I get back, it's questionable whether he'll be back for that Friday or not. He might be missing that Friday as well. And then, Gray and Tude and a couple of other, even Kirsten are usually hit or miss, so possibly available on Fridays. So I should be able to field the team at some point, because I definitely want to get to tier 100 for this season. And right now I'm only at like 36 or 37. So I got lots of stuff built up, lots of, 10 stars that have halfway or more, and lots of 2s and 5 stars as well that have a lot of progress on them. So as far as challenges go, I got lots of stuff out there, and should be able to make that happen. What up, Michael? Looking at stuff, stream schedule. Okay, so drone story. Real quick, I want to tell you guys this story. Most of you heard this already, but I'm going to tell you anyways. So I've been looking for a drone for a long time. Like, Kirsten's dad bought one, I don't know, 3 months ago, and it started getting me back into the process. It's summertime. I feel more likely to fly and do things, especially living in Oregon where weather's crappy in the winter. You don't fly when it's raining or snowing. So definitely summertime is the time to do it. So I was kind of shopping already, and then her dad got one, and it got me thinking, and the wheels turning again. So I started shopping, and I found one that I landed on one that I really wanted. I've always been a snob. I always buy like the newest model with the best features and spend way too much money and hardly use any of the features. And so this time I went into it with the idea of, look, I want to be able to go on a hiking trip and pack it with me. I don't want to have a giant backpack. I don't want tons of work to prep, to set it up, to put it away. I want it to be simple. So I did a bunch of research, and the DJI Mavic 3 was sort of their flagship, and they're probably most expensive and probably one of their better. Right? And so I was kind of set on that, but it was like $3,000 for the one I wanted. And that's too much for me to spend on a drone. So I started, looking at some of the smaller ones and the packages, and I found the one I wanted. It was the Air 2S but it had the smart controller. So there was just the remote controller and then the smart controller. Smart controller doesn't require a cell phone to use to see. It actually has a screen and it sends all the signal from the drone to the screen that it has versus having to connect your phone and do all this stuff. Like this one actually required a jumper cable. So instead of connecting through like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or some sort of wireless technology, it actually required a hard line. So anytime I had to put my phone in this really cumbersome, holder that barely fit. And then on top of that, we found out that it was actually pushing the buttons. So it was closing my screen because this is where my screen, right? So it closes. So when I put the clamp down, it would push that button. And that was very problematic. And then having to put the cord in, it just wasn't. So I bought the remote control one because they never had the smart controller in. So I bought the new one. As I was checking out, they say, would you like the Total Tech plan? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, nope. I don't want no warranty. I don't crash my stuff. It's got a bunch of crash prevention, all these cameras, and it's really smart. And I've flown quite a bit. I've got hours under my belt flying drones, and I've only crashed twice. Once I was screwing around with Reese, and I was chasing him through the backyard of my grandparents' house, and I just had too much momentum, and I couldn't stop, and I plowed into a tree. The other time, I was actually at the coast, and I was flying way, way, way out of eyesight. And I got to some trees, and I sort of miscalculated some of the limbs. And I actually hit a tree that was over 100 feet tall, like at sort of the top of it, and damaged one of my rotors and managed to fly it out of the trouble area and get it home out of the ends. Because I flew, again, too much momentum into the tree and then flew it out, got it home. My stepdad was like blown away. He was like, how the hell did you do that? I don't even know, but I managed to back it out of there again. So I've got a lot of experience and I don't feel like I'm going to crash it. So I said, no, I do not want the warranty. And they go, okay, just so you know, if you return this and it's not broken, there is a 15% restocking fee. Well, you guys can do some math, but basically the restocking fee was the same price as the Total Tech at $200. So I said, nah, we don't want it. And we left and we got in the car and we were driving home and we talked about it. And we said, not only would this plan cover this drone, but it would cover the new colored lights that I bought. It would cover the SD card and all this stuff, right? And so we're like, yeah, we're going to get it. So she gets on the phone and calls Best Buy's customer service, says, hey, we were just in there like an hour ago. We'd like to go ahead and purchase this thing and add it. And they go, cool, no problem. We can add it, but won't cover your drone. It won't cover the stuff. And we're like, okay, well, so we have to take the drone back. And then at that point, we can then add it. She goes, yeah, you get to return it, but there's a $200 restocking fee. So we're like, wait, so you're going to charge us $200 just to purchase it again with this plan? Like, she told us at the counter we had 14 days to add this. And they're like, yeah, sorry, we can't help you. Maybe go in and talk to the manager at the store and they will help you. My wife was pissed and was like, all right, thanks for nothing. Click. And so we got in the car and we drove down there and they helped us instantly. And so I was able to add that Total Tech plan. And I came home that night, charged the drone up and everything. Hadn't even opened it yet, right? Like, so I opened it up, charged it, found out that night that my phone wasn't going to work. So luckily I had bought the plan because I was able to return it without the restocking fee. And then at that point, I was really bummed because I didn't have an option to get another drone. Well, that day that I was going to return it, I got the email from Best Buy saying, hey, guess what? Your smart controller is in. I've been waiting for 6 months, you guys, for this thing to come in, and it's in. So I go and return the drone. And I go, hey, will you go ahead and just order the smart controller one for me? And he goes, yeah, no problem. Oh, we're out of stock. It's like, what? I just got the email like 2 hours ago. It's in. And he's like, no, it's out. So I pull it up. It's out of stock. So I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and return it anyways because it's not going to work for what I need. And so I returned it and I went home and I was super bummed. I was like, man, we're going on this trip. I was going to have a drone. Blah, 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 blah. Turns out, next day I get the email, hey, we got the drone in stock. I was like, no way. So I ordered it. And of course, it got delayed. It wasn't here when it was supposed to be here. It got pushed to yesterday, or no, day before yesterday. And that was the day that we'd gone to the hospital and all that stuff. So I ended up wanting to, so like that drone thing is crazy, but I got it. I'm pretty excited about it and I'm hoping to fly it a bunch. It's very different, but it's also, like I said, it's very smart. And there's like a feature on it called like Cinematic Movie Pro or something like that. And it's basically like I select it and hit a button on the screen, which is a touch screen. And it'll like ask me like to select a point of interest. So like me or my car or a golf hole or whatever, right? And it'll fly and it'll do these different takes. It'll go up and like shoot it going up. So it gets like this rising effect. And then it'll come and fly away over here to the left and then do like this strafing swoop to left to right. I haven't seen it in motion yet, but basically it takes 3 or 4 or 5 different takes, takes all those short clips, slaps it into a short little video for you. I was like, as soon as I saw that feature on this drone, I was like, oh, I'm buying it. So I have no idea if it's going to be cool, if it's going to be short, if it's going to be long, if it's even going to work. But so like I said, I got lots of learning. I'll be watching videos and experimenting over the next couple of days. And hopefully I'll be able to do some stuff. Now, one really, really, really crazy thing is that I was really happy about getting the smart controller version versus the remote controller version because I wasn't going to be able to use my phone or need to use my phone anymore. And long story short, the reason why that was so important to me was not only is it a pain in the arse, but it's also potential for short-term use, not long-term. What I mean by that is I bought a really expensive drone a long time ago, 3DR Solo, top-notch drone at the time, so smart. 3DR was leading the tech at this time. And so I bought it. Well, after like a year of owning it, they quit supporting the app. So they didn't update it anymore. The problem with that is that Android got updated to a point where it couldn't read the app. So you had to have an older version of Android in order to use this older app. Luckily, I had a cracked phone that still worked, that had a cracked screen. Ironically, I just got the 9-year reminder yesterday. So that's kind of funny that, so my phone was 9 years old. And luckily, it still worked. So I was able to use that. So my drone actually had its own smart controller because it had a specific phone, specific data, but it was old. It had like a really old USB plug, like not the micro, but like the whatever the one before that one was. It was bad and problematic. So I didn't want to end up in a situation where I was going to potentially have to use an older phone or something like that. So I wanted the actual controller. So I'm pretty stoked that I got it. The downside is at this point, I don't think it has software to allow me to stream what I'm seeing. Now my phone and the app on my phone doesn't have that technology either, but I had an app that would allow screen share or screen capture. So I could potentially turn on screen capture, load up the drone app, and then hit go, and it could have potentially seen what the drone was seeing, right? That would have been really cool. And in this case, the microphone on my phone would have likely been the source for the volume. So you would have seen the drone flying around, but heard my voice. That would have been kind of cool. I don't think the new controller has that, but it has an HDMI out on the back. So if I could get my laptop to potentially work and stream, and if I have a signal somewhere, I could plug an HDMI cable into the remote, run it to one of my Elgato capture cards, and then right into Streamlabs. So although I missed out on an opportunity with technology with the phone, I may have gained an option by having an HDMI plug. But again, I'd have to be close to a Wi-Fi connection or have a good cell connection to tether my Wi-Fi to my laptop and then have the cables and everything to support it, which is kind of chunky. But I'm taking my Elgato capture card and I'm taking the microphone and the camera. So I'm going to have basically the essentials. I won't have my Stream Richard. I won't have my extra computers or fancy speeds or anything. So it'll be problematic, but maybe possible. So I might even be able to plug in the HDMI while I'm over there. If I fly it from like the back patio of the, you never know. You never know. Might be some cool stuff. All right. Last but not least, as you guys know, I've already talked about it. We are getting ready to bounce out. We're going to go to Eagle Crest. Feel free to look it up, Eaglecrest, I think .com, or maybe it's eaglecrestresort.com. It's over in Eastern Oregon, very high-end golf course with condos all around the golf course. And that's where we hope to be. We always request a golf course side condo. We don't always get it. Sometimes we get the mountain, but we usually get golf course. Like out of, I don't know, 15 or 20 years that I've gone on this with my wife and her family, which is now ours, because it was her parents for a long time, but then we actually sort of inherited / bought them out of it. And so anyways, I think we've gotten the mountainside like 3 or 4 times. I've gotten the golf course almost every time. And we love it because we can go walk around on the golf course at night and hang out, and there's sprinklers out there. And you guys have seen some of the footage of like thunder and lightning and stuff in the past. But speaking of the past, I know earlier I talked about, when I was younger and just I've known Paz forever, all these things, right? Like going way back. And Teflon was giving me a bad time saying, I would have had a mullet and blah, 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 blah. That was the right time frame for that. However, maybe not. Now, this picture was taken when I was 16, 17 years old. And I'm going to go ahead and show it to you guys now. This is a young me, like a really young me. Look at that hair. Look at that hair. In case you're wondering, yes, that's a perm. That's a perm. I wanted curly hair, and I had long straight hair, so I got a perm. Bobby, why the hell you got to show up right now? You weren't supposed to see that. Now I'm gonna have to pull out an Area 51 pick and put you on blast. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, so I think that's basically all I've got. We have had some family here. My mom's been staying with it. My aunt's been here. Like we've had a lot of people coming and going. More gonna be here. My mother-in-law always likes this time of year because she gets kind of a break from us when we take off and go to Eagle Crest, and some of the other family that we don't see very often comes through and hangs out. It's usually the same, cousins that come, and then sometimes some other people like my aunt and my mom, right? Like that was kind of a new thing. My mom was actually, she stayed with us a few days, and I don't think she's here anymore. I think she bounced. Otherwise, I almost was like, hey, you want to be on my game break with me? But it's my grandfather's birthday tomorrow. And so they're celebrating, so she had to bounce out to go to that. But yeah, so it's just been real nice. My mom and I, we've kind of had one of these relationships over the years. My dad and her got divorced when I was 5, and I was, of course, hated her for a long time for that. She was the one that left. And she used to drag me around, and I've mentioned this before, like, when I would go visit with her on the weekends or whatever, because it was like every other weekend was sort of like the term or the agreement. And, often she was doing like modeling stuff, and we'd have to go places, and I'd be on shoots with her. And, part of me is like grateful that I had that experience now, right? Like, and you like we've talked about this before, like you see movies of like kids growing up with their moms who are like, Broadway people or whatever, and they're always in these rooms with like all these women getting dressed and everything. Like I grew up doing that, so like I saw a lot of naked women and a lot of stuff. Like you'd think at the time I'd be like, yeah, but I hated it so much back then. And now it's kind of like, that's pretty cool. I got to do all that and see behind the scenes and be a part of these productions and see my mom in the like newspapers and calendars and commercials and stuff. Like that was really cool. But at the time I hated it. So, we haven't always had the best relationship. And then there was some run-in right around the time my son was born. Her husband and I started on a business adventure together. And to be honest with you, if it wouldn't have gone bad, I'd probably be a millionaire right now. I'm not even kidding when I say that. We had this idea. I don't even want to talk about it, but we had this idea, and it was his idea. He came to me because he knew I could develop a website for it, and the website was going to be the key. And he was questioning whether or not I was talented enough and could meet these needs that the website would need. But it always praised me like, oh, you're so good at what you do. And, oh, you're so good. And anyways, he and I had a sort of a fallout at that moment, and it got very personal with my mom. So like there was a couple of years my mom and I didn't even talk, and it wasn't until my wife and I got married. Yes, we had Reese before we got married. Wasn't until I got married that I invited her to the wedding and brought her back. And my mom is awesome. She's super kind, and you know, it doesn't get any softer and nicer, you know. So I'm glad. And so it's been really nice having her stay here because, you know, she lives at the coast or Bend. And it's really cool. Like this week, we're going to be over in Bend, and that's where she's going to be. So she doesn't get there till Tuesday. So we'll have a couple days without her being there. But, you know, she's got her dog, which is like Reese or Drexler's best friend. And she loves Reese too, but they're not as close as Drexler and Roxy. But anyways, why ban me? Nobody's banning nobody. But yeah, so you know, like I said, it's been real nice having family, extra family. It's always kind of crazy and chaotic with more people and stuff, but it's nice knowing too, especially right now. Like in the past, it's always good because like my mother-in-law, like I said, gets a break from us, but gets to have other people here too, so she's not alone or whatever. But at the same time, like you know, it can be sort of overwhelming. So, anyways, yeah. So people coming and going, including us. We'll be gone for a week, no streams, but there will be potential for bonus or sort of sideline streams, and also, you know, it's gonna be Lego Star Wars stuff every day. Yeah. So guys, other than Patreon, I don't think I have anything else. And full disclosure on Patreon, if anybody left this month, you get extra recognition. Because I didn't have time because of my wife going to the emergency room and stuff. I literally lost like a day and a half. And I often wait for a couple of like Patreon. I always wait till the last minute because people do jump in and out, and I want to make sure it's accurate. So that was one of the things. It's not like I put it off and I shouldn't have procrastinated. That's the plan. Same with like YouTube stats and stuff. Those get pulled 1 or 2 days before we do the stream because I want them to be as accurate and as current as possible. Not that you guys would know or call me on it or anything. It's just how I am, how I operate. But so if for whatever reason you join Patreon and you're not on here, I'm sorry, my bad. I'll get you next month. I'll do something extra special. But if you left, guess what? You get an extra month anyways. But big time shout out to all of these people who are at the $5 and up tier, have supported us. A lot of them since we've started like 3 years ago on Patreon. And you do some math. I mean, that's definitely generous. $5 and up for 3+ years. That's crazy awesome. So very much appreciated to all of you. Seriously, like, especially during these months when advertisements like almost non-essential, it does help out. It really does. And actually, it just reminded me, I need to turn in an invoice to the golf course before I leave too, because otherwise I'll be way late in getting that in and I won't even get it till probably about this time next month. So I got to remember to do that. But so there's the $5 and up guys. They get the textual shout out. We also have some $10 and up guys too. So I'm going to go ahead and recognize and shout them out real quick too. But no particular order, just how they're actually showed here. So much love to Dougie Fresh 613. Dougie's part of our sort of original team, but has continued to support us on Patreon over the years. Even though we don't see him much, we know his presence is here, and we appreciate that greatly. And hopefully someday we'll get him back on guide writing or something, just depending on when his schedule works out. You know, he got married, and the lady he married actually had a daughter, so he's become like a, you know, a father in a way. And from what I hear, he's doing a damn good job too. So big shout out to our guy Dougie Fresh. Next up, we got Josh Maid. Thank you so much for your support, Josh. Much love. Let's see here. You're probably out there playing on that new PS5 of yours, huh? Oh, GCU's out there too. What up? Hey guys, my cousin finally got a PS5 this week through the PlayStation Direct. Yeah, a lot of people actually scored on that, which is awesome. Robert got an extra digital version, he was saying. I know that, well, Josh ended up getting his at GameStop. But yeah, definitely a lot of people, I saw a lot of tweets and a lot of stuff saying that they got him. So that's awesome. Next up, we got Adam Barber. Thank you so much, Adam, for your support in and out of the streams. And oh, nice, you did get it. That's dope. That's dope. So Bobby he's always worried about getting his PlayStation because he got one canceled early. So he's like, out of all the stuff he's got one cancellation, and every time he panics and thinks it's going to happen again. But he got it, so it's good. But much love, Adam. Appreciate your support on Patreon. And like I said, in and out of the streams. Next up, he's out there right now, too. We got Michael Cosberg. Thank you so much, Michael, for your support on Patreon and, of course, on the YouTube channels. I see all your comments and try to respond to all the ones that are relevant or need something, or at least hit that heart button to let you know I've seen it. But much love. Dude, Chacho. Hey, Chacho. Repeat what I do. Ready? All right, 3 deep breaths. 3 deep breaths. We'll be okay. I promise. I promise. All right, last but not least, at the $10 and up supporters on Patreon, we got Bonnie Miller. Thank you so much, Bonnie, for your support. You know, our paths haven't crossed in a while. It'd be pretty cool if they did. So, anyways, much love to you all, and thank you so much to our Patreon supporters at, you know, any tier. Because we got some $1 guys, some $2 guys, some $5 guys, some $10 guys, you know, and gals and everything else too, right? Let's see here. I saw he was just kidding. You got to know Robert by now that if he sees a weak point, he's gonna attack it, and if he knows that you'll take the bait on a banned comment to see you freak out, he'll take it. Why do you think he brings up Resident Evil 3 and all these games that I didn't complete every time we see each other? It's because he loves to see us squirm. It's just something he needs. He needs to see the squirmage. Friggin' Robert. Frig off, Bobby. But yeah, guys, so hey, that's my Patreon stuff. Surprisingly, my list, I got through it pretty fast. So yeah, anybody got any questions? Anything? Let's see here. Not that you guys asked for it, but let me get you guys something real quick. No, that's not. Hey, what? Is this it? Yeah, it is. Okay. So this is where we're going. We'll be in this vicinity. It's a big place, but you'll get the. We'll be sitting right at the entrance there in about 5 hours, 6 hours. Check in, and you know, my drone footage will be something similar to this. They do have summer sale rates. If anybody wants to come join us. I'm pretty bummed out this year. My buddy Aaron, who actually lives in Bend, and we see almost every year we go there, he's actually sadly going to be on a business trip. So he's in Colorado for another couple weeks. But yes, I was really hoping to get to see him. He's like one of my best buds. That dude and we met 25 years ago. I think I was maybe 17, 18 years old when we met. Had to have been 16, 17. It's probably 18 actually, because I was living with my dad working at Creekside Golf Course when I met Aaron. And I'll never forget. Funny story. This will be it. This will be my final story. The guy I'm supposed to go meet that is on a business trip, and I won't get to see him. We met working at a golf course on a greens crew. So we were responsible for mowing and weed whacking and all that stuff, right? So I know I've talked extensively about me having experience in lawn mowing simulator, but so Aaron shows up, and his first day we got paired together, and we had to go, I can't remember if we were weed eating or what we were doing, but we were working together. And so we met. And as we're talking, like, you know, I'm like talking about cars and whatever. And he's like, he starts talking. He's like, yeah, I needed to find a job out here for, you know, a couple months before the winter season comes back, before I can get back to my real passion and my real job. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, oh, I'm an Olympic snowboarder. And I was like, yeah, okay, buddy. You know, we're like 17 years old. It's like, no, seriously, I've actually traveled the globe already, and I've competed in worldwide events and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, this was back in like 95, 96, 97 maybe, right? Like long time ago, before internet was big, before cell phones were big, before anything, right? So I couldn't just get on and Google him or whatever. It was very different. So I was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Well, the next couple of days, it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We worked together and we hung out. You know, I still was questioning his stuff, but overall, like, we sort of became friends. Friday, he doesn't come to work. And about halfway through the day, we get a report. He was in a really bad car accident. Like, totaled his truck, was in the hospital, bad news. I was like, oh, damn, that snowboarding career is over. You know, like, that sucks. And weekend happens. Monday, I pull in. I kid you not. Here comes Aaron in his truck. Not a scratch on it. Not totaled. Not seemingly spent the weekend in the hospital. And he's like, oh yeah, it's the worst wreck I've been in. We're like, dude, what the hell? Like, come on. And so come to find out, he didn't get in a wreck. I don't remember what the circumstance was, but he couldn't make it to work. And that's what he told the boss. And so he got reprimanded like on the first week, was like, this is your last chance. And so after that, he was fine. And we always give him such a bad time about that. Like, why would you lie and say you totaled your truck? Like, you should have said like you were with your friend or something else, but not the case. So what up, Jim? Welcome to the stream. I'm doing well. About ready to go on vacation after a very stressful couple of days. If you missed the beginning of the stream, my wife, unfortunately, was woken up Thursday night with excruciating pain that took us to the ER that led it to be kidney stones. She has since made it through the tough part anyways. We think she's maybe past it. If it's not, it's still in her bladder, which is not painful at this point. But it was a wild ride and super scary. And, you know, my wife's still recovering, very dehydrated, very tired and exhausted. We pulled an all-nighter at the ER, so like our sleep schedules are messed up. But that was Thursday night / Friday morning. We're here Sunday. We're upright. We're moving. We're packing. We're getting ready to go on vacation. So yeah, and it's weird. Like 2 years ago, I don't remember last year having any hurdles. 2 years ago, we almost didn't get to go to Eagle Crest because of the wildfires. You guys, I don't know if you guys remember Oregon, almost the whole state caught on fire. It was really bad. Lots of people lost their homes. And specifically where we're going, we go over into Eastern Oregon, and the pass that destroyed everything on that pass, all the Detroit's, everything along the way is gone. It's been 2 years, so some of it's starting to pop back. But 2 years ago, we almost didn't get to go because of the fires. 3 years ago, my grandma, literally on our way out of town, fell and broke her hip. We were on our way to go to see them on our way out of town because they're literally on the highway on the way out. So we'd always stop by their place on the way out. And we stop as we were pulling in, like there's an ambulance that goes flying by us, and we pull in, and my grandpa was left there all alone because they knew that we were supposed to stop by. So my grandpa stayed. He was, 93, 94 years old at the time and wasn't very mobile. So they hauled grandma away in an ambulance and took her to the hospital. And we ended up having to cancel that week because there was just no way we could get over there. So my mother-in-law took Reese and his friend, and they went and stayed for that week. Well, we stayed back and sort of took care of grandpa, who was left behind because grandma was, in the hospital. So we did a lot of transporting back and forth to go see her. And then obviously she went into like recovery and stuff like that. So she had to go into like rehab. And so she was gone for like a month. And that's when we moved in and started taking over. And we stayed out there for a couple months before we got grandpa into a home. And then grandma got reunited with him in the home a couple weeks later. And so yeah. And then the year before that, I'm trying to remember what it was the year before that. I think it was my car was acting up. So it's like every stupid year, there's always something huge that like tries to prevent us from going to Eagle Crest. But, for the most part, we power through it and we get over there. So we're going to be relaxing for a couple of days / a week. And my favorite brewery, if I can say that right, is over in Redmond, where we're going to be staying. So I'll go and get a nice growler of that and get all numbed up. I got a couple of other friends that live over there. I may or may not reach out to them to see. Some of them are sort of like older friends in my younger years, not perm younger years, but like, right after that. So yeah, DeGraw. Justin, are you familiar with Wild Ride? Wild Ride makes a peanut butter porter, and it's called Nut Crusher. It's baby punch worthy. It's right, my favorite beer making place. Nut Crusher. Yeah, so like Roth's carries it. and 6 packs. Safeway carries it in the tall, like the 20 ounces or whatever bottles, pints, I guess they are. And yeah, in fact, look, it's backwards, I know, but there's a Wild Ride Brew Company, Redmond, Oregon. I've never been there. We have a bunch of like cups that are like thermal, like, cool cups that have like laser etching. And like every time we go there, we always buy some stupid merch from there. I got a t-shirt. In fact, I wore it the night we went to the ER. I had it on. I don't know where it is. Probably washed by now, but yeah, it's a peanut butter porter. It's very dark. It's very thick. It's like having a meal. But I like to chew my beer when I have beer. I don't drink beer very often. I don't drink anything very often. But occasionally I do grab, like some Nut Crusher, or I've been drinking this honey bourbon. It's not Jack Daniels. What is it? There's a honey bourbon. I can't remember what the brand is. It's super sweet. It literally tastes like honey with a kick of bourbon. So yeah, but I mean, I don't drink very often, but when I do, it's usually Nut Crusher. But you're on your way. Right on. All right, guys. Well, hey, much love to you all. I hope to see you in a week when I return, and who knows, maybe in between. We might do like just a quick YouTube live from the phone or something, just to say, hey, like I said, I have taken my laptop. I've got everything. I updated all my Adobe programs. I updated the Streamlabs. I got it all working. The only thing that I'm just now realizing I didn't do was I didn't install the drivers for my microphone. But that should be small enough that I shouldn't have to worry about it. Like all my Adobe stuff was like 20 gigabytes. So that was a lot of data that I needed to download to get caught up, because that laptop doesn't get, I don't use it for that very often. So I don't update stuff. But anyways, we'll see how it goes. And I'm going to go have a blast, kick back, and then return to the grind when I get back next Sunday. So like I said, Monday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, I do hope to return to streams. It might be, Tuesday or Wednesday. I may like not make it Monday and then maybe stream Power Washer on Tuesday or something, or might even be able to get like an Apex team for Tuesday if, if people are around. I know that Tude's getting really close to having his kids back at school. I don't know if that's going to open up his schedule like it was before, or if it's going to be pretty packed still, or what. But anyways, oh, Monster's out there. What up, Kim? Good to see you, man. We're just getting ready to check out. Appreciate you stopping by and saying hi. We're out of here. Definitely watch though. There's some crazy information. Like my wife had to go to the ER. Mike's here too. What up, Farmer? Bro, we're heading to the Eagle Crest today. I don't think you're coming that way at all, but if you make it over to the pass, dude, hit us up. We got a nice spot. We'll be chilling for a week. Eagle Crest, here we come. Saw the notification, was like, oh crap. Nice. All right, have a blast. I'm gonna go eat. See you later. Nice. All right. We will. And hey, Mike, I'm going to need to see you when I come back. Tell Bill I'm coming. All right, man. Much love to you all. You know the drill. Head on over to any of our social medias. If you have not already, please check out happythumbsgaming.com. I'm going to go enjoy a week off, guys. I'll see you soon. As always, until next time. Slip.